Mercedes has just launched the EQE SUV. It's the third EV in Mercedes range. They're adding more and more EVs as we go along. This one, it's an SUV, so clearly a lot of appeal in it. And talking to me about this, we have Lance Bennett, who's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing of Mercedes-Benz India. Lance, thanks for joining us and congratulations. So really another EV in the range, but getting more specifically to this, an SUV, just to get your sense, do SUVs even in EV form have more appeal than sedans?
I think for Mercedes-Benz, we have customers that like sedans and SUVs as well, but certainly there's a market for SUVs, and we don't have this is the first time we've had a mid-sized SUV in this segment. So, and we do have customers asking us for this vehicle, so here it is.
Right, and just from your product strategy, you've gone for the top end. It's at 1.39 crores, well, expensive in that sense, but obviously loaded a lot. It's the 500 four-wheel drive, got the works, hyperscreen. Is that really what the customer wants? I mean, he's willing to spend, but he wants all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, our customers, as you said, do expect all of the bells and whistles. So we've really packed this car full of lots of content. So it has airmatic suspension as standard. We've got the hyperscreen, which is a 56mm pillar-to-pillar screen as well. We also have the HEPA filter as standard, the head-up display, ventilated seats, massaging seats, so lots of great
But is that
content.
do customers want all that? Is that your sense?
Yes,
or are you just giving it to them?
No, this is what Mercedes-Benz customers are telling us they want from a Mercedes-Benz. They
right.
want all of the features, yes.
And just one comparison looking at the EQE, well, ICE equivalent is GLE, well, not exact equivalent, different shapes altogether, but it's interesting looking at the pricing, because I think on road the GLE, the 400D would be about 1.25, 1.3 crores, something like that, and this is just 1.39, and in states where there's no road tax, that is the final price in a sense, of course insurance and all extra for both. This delta or this difference between ICE and EVs which you maintain, is that one of the driving factors for EV adoption and growth?
Yeah, I do believe that that is supporting the adoption as well. So we do see that GLE customers, GLE 400D customers will look at the EQE 500, given that there isn't the big price delta. And actually when you look at the content in the vehicle as well, as I mentioned, those things that we've loaded, it's actually quite a good value proposition when you compare against the GLE as well. We also, the wheelbase of the vehicle is 33mm longer than the GLE, so that allows us to have more space and a nice driving dynamic having that long wheelbase as well.
Right, and just looking at the two customers, you're saying you're targeting a GLE 400D customer. Quite frankly, it's not the same car. It's like a completely different car altogether. So do you think a GLE customer who wants that road presence, that high upright stance, would be happy with something that's a little bit more sleeker and perhaps not as much road presence?
It wouldn't be for everyone, so we'll still have the GLE for sale for those customers that are still after, as you mentioned, that road presence. But this vehicle, will appeal to some customers that are looking to move electric, not only to GLE customers as well, but also we see maybe, from other segments as well. But yeah, I think that this is a great option for those customers that were normally driving a GLE to move into something
right.
electric.
And Lance, just looking at the way the electric luxury car market is moving, growing very rapidly. Is adoption faster than you anticipated? I mean, are people, let's say, leaning more towards it? Because obviously this segment, they are more willing to experiment. Charging at home is not a problem for a lot of them, which is really the main issue. Refinement is something that they all aspire for, which an EV gives and your customers want. So is EV adoption, especially in the luxury end, a little faster than you thought?
I wouldn't say faster than we thought. I mean, at this stage, it's 5% of our sales.
That's quite a chunk, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we are bringing more vehicles to market because we are getting a lot of interest in electric as well. But we do see that over the next few years that we will get more momentum, and within 4 years we hope to be have 25% of our sales being electric.
So 4 years, 25%.
Correct, yes.
This year, what are the forecasts? 5%? Do you think you'd grow on that as well, and maybe target the the 1,000 EV mark by the end of the financial year? You think that's...
Yeah, we do expect to see some uplift as well, having the new model. But again, supply is somewhat constrained a little bit. But we are targeting for not necessarily that 1,000 or sort of around that kind of number. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be a good number to have. Yeah. And lastly, looking at there's a CBU right now. Clearly, it's a start. Obviously, there are logistical issues getting CBUs. I think this comes even from Spartanburg, from what I understand. Is that can we see a CKD version eventually? Is that what one would expect?
So at this stage, there's no plan for a CKD version of the EQE. There is no CKD EQE in the world, exactly. So it will continue to be a CBU through its life cycle.
Right. And does that give you a bit of a disadvantage in terms of pricing? Obviously, it would. And are you passing a lot of that on to the customer, or are you absorbing it a fair bit yourself, looking at this pricing?
Yeah, we're absorbing a big chunk of that cost as well, and we're trying to bring it to market. We've brought it to market as aggressively as we possibly can.
Right.
Yep.
And last question, Lance, we heard you're increasing the charging network, adding more chargers. Do you think that today is the fundamental issue, that the charging network really needs to expand fast and rapidly, and you're doing your bit, but do others need to do their bit as well?
Yeah, so it's certainly an enabler to give people confidence buying an electric vehicle. But as you mentioned, a lot of our customers do have chargers at home, but it certainly helps on those long journeys. And anything we can do to support the growth of electric sales, including these chargers within our dealer network and enabling them for not only our customers but also the electric owners around India as well. So we will continue to focus on supporting the ecosystem as well, and it's great to see what other brands are also doing and independent companies.
Right. Lance, thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Wish you all the best.
Thanks.
And congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you.